Okay, good evening, all of you. And after discussing about the plants, today what we have to do is we have to discuss about our next lesson, which is static electricity, right? The lesson is about static electricity. Actually, in grade 6 class, we got some idea about electricity. Right? We got some idea about electricity, but basically what the idea that we had is about the batteries and the current. But this electricity is little, that is also electricity, but it is different from the electricity that we have learned in the previous grade, because this is something to deal with the electrons, and also it is a very small current, and also it's kind of it's not to like turn on a bulb or do something, right? This electricity, but you can experiment with, and there are nice things we can do with this static electricity. So, okay, I think you have done this experiment in your life sometimes. Okay, have you tried to comb your hair or rub your hair to this plastic comb for some time, for some duration, and have you seen that the hair will attract to that comb? Have you experimented that? Right? Again, api konde really kesara wenna ona. In the dry hair, we have to rub the comb. Panawa chutta katullala balana. ඊට පස්සේ මේ සමහරට වැටෙන කෙස් ගස් එහෙම මේ පනාවට ටිකක් ඇලෙනවා වගේ. It's attracting. Right? Those are attracting to the comb. Have you seen? Oh, small papers which are attracting. So there is a property, right? It can attract small things. Okay, so let me show an interesting video to you before we begin. So this is from YouTube, but still it's a very important one that you can do these experiments at home. So let's see them first. Actually, he is not touching the paper, right? Instead of, he's using a clay. Clay and a pencil, and then in the pencil tip, he is keeping this paper. This is actually folded into 4 parts. balance. You need to balance this in the middle. Then he's keeping this balanced paper in the middle. And then, have you seen this ruler? This ruler is plastic. He's using this nylon or some, like it's not cotton, maybe nylon or some other material. You can use your hair also and rub in this a few times. That will charge this ruler. Okay, here, see. So this is charging the ruler. After that, the charge can attract or it can move that paper away. So that depends on the electricity type. So there are 2 kind of electricities, that negative or positive. Whether make a dana තියන්න පුළුවන්, positive තියන්න පුළුවන්, this can be negative, or this can be positive and this also can be positive. If both are positive, it's not attracting, right? It's pulling away. Attract වෙන්නේ නැහැ. But if one is positive, the other one is negative, then that will attract. We'll teach you some experiments in the book next, right? Okay. So let's see. දැන් මේක අද කරලා බලන්නත් පුළුවන්. හරි, these are small experiments. For that you need a wooden match, right? මේකට අර wooden match එකක් ඕන. අර ඔයාලගේ තියෙන අර මේ ඉටි තියෙන ගිනි කූරු හරියන්නේ නැහැ. So these wooden matches are there in shops, but I'm not sure now it is there. But so I have seen in some shop these wooden matches are there. මේ ලී ගිනි කූරු හොයා ගන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒ පොඩි ඔය වාට ඒ වෙනවට පුළුවන් අර අයිස්ක්‍රීම් වල අයිස්ක්‍රීම් මේ තියෙන ලොලිපොප් වගේ එහෙම ලොලිපොප් එකක් නෙමෙයි. Yeah, the small ice cream that has that part, but that is a bit larger. You can just take one apart from that, right? Okay. So this should be lightweight. Like idea එක තමයි මේක ගොඩාක් lightweight වෙන්න ඕන. එහෙම lightweight නම් තමයි මේක ගොඩාක් attraction අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන්. And this wind is not going inside this now. So it is not because of wind, it is because of the static electricity. This is another experiment. මේක තව චුට්ටක් මේ ලං කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් හොඳයි. But so because of the glass it is in distance. So this you can slightly see this. Otherwise, so you have to use a glass or plastic, maybe plastic pipe, PVC pipe. You can use PVC pipe for this. PVC butter kala use karana. This is a latex balloon. Latex balloons also you can buy from a shop, right? Then, so small thread, the water thread, water chuti thread එකක් use කරන්න. So water thread and latex balloon. See, it is also working. Right, these things need small materials, right? So you can find them at your home environment and you can experiment them. So these are interesting things. All these are because of the static electricity. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, so I think you can try this now. Can you remember them? Okay, I will send you the video link, right? Then you can follow the video and do it by yourself as a DIY activity, right? You can do it by yourself as a do-it-yourself DIY activity and share the results, right? Once you're done, you can share me the results. These are experiments that you can do using static electricity. So it'll be interesting, right? Because you need only few materials. No need to buy anything from a shop. You can find everything from your surroundings, right? Everything from your surrounding and start doing this experiment. Okay. That is about the static electricity. Just get an idea. Okay, how this happens? How this happens? You can test that with a plastic pen, right? Plastic pen. You can rub it against your skin or dry hair, right? Rub it against your skin or dry hair, or use a wool or nylon or cotton cloth, right? So then, so do it different things. Then we can use a glass rod, PVC pipe, and ebonite rod. Ebonite means the hard rubber, right? Ebonite කියලා කියන high rubber මේ දඬු තියෙන්නේ. ඒවට ebonite කියන brand එකක් විදිහට යන්නේ. You can use that rubber, right? Rubber is not conductor, but still, so this static electricity experiment, you can take this ebonite rod. Then polythene or silk cloth and woolen cloth, right? Wool තියෙන cloth ඒවා හැම ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ වැඩේට, and small piece of papers, right? So then you can do this experiment. You can try to rub with try here glass rod can rub with the silk cloth, and PVC pipe rub with polythene sheet, then ebonite rod rub with woolen cloth. Then before and after, you can keep the piece of papers, just tie to very small particles, right? චූටි ඒවා ගන්න. එතකොට ලේසි. මොකද මේ ලොකු ඒවා ගත්තම ඒවා අර move වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ, බර වැඩිනේ. And just take small piece of papers and do this experiment. And so I think you can do this at home. So I can share you the results that is there in the book, but don't look at the book. Do this and come up with the results next day, right? Do this experiment alone. තනියෙන් කරන්න මේව බලාගෙන ඊළඟ දවසේ ඊට පස්සේ ඇවිල්ලා කියන්න මොකද්ද උනේ කියලා. Okay, one of our students joined recently. Uday, you missed that interesting video. Anyway, I will share it again to you. You can watch this later, not now, correct? Then බලන්න යන්න එපා, පස්සේ බලන්න. You can watch this later after the class, right? And this is about the static electricity. That is the lesson that we are discussing today. Okay, how this really happens. So the first person explain about the static electricity is scientist William Gilbert, right? In 1600. It's not 19, it is 1600, right? 1600 AD. So in ancient history, right? Like more than 500 years ago, right? He was explaining more than 400 years ago, sorry. He was explaining about this, his observation. What he has done is he used an amber and rubbed with a silk cloth. Amber කියලා material එකක් අරගෙන he just rubbed the silk cloth, and he saw that small pieces of paper attract to that and attach to that. So he explained this phenomena as static electricity in that time. Okay, so basically what will happen when you rub something against, this happens in some clothes also. When some clothes are rubbed against your skin or maybe the skin hair, it used to attract. අර සමහර රෙද් තියන පුතේ ට්‍රේඩි සමහරලාට ඔය සිලිමලු shopping bag වගේ දේවලුත් අපේ හැමේ හැම සමහරලාට අපේ අර මේ රෝමවල ඇතිල්ුණාම හරිද? So when it is rubbed against our skin or when it is rubbed against our hair, so basically you can feel that it is attracting our hair, right? දැන් අපේ රෝම ඇදලා ගන්නවා වගේ. So it is attracting, it is touching, it's sticking. You can feel that. Right? Some materials, not every material, some material, because this charge happens. This electricity, static electricity charge happen. Actually, what happens here is, let me explain. When you rub again a cloth, the cloth here, glass rod rub again with the silk. Then actually, in the silk there are positives, and in the glass rod there are positives. Actually, these positives in the silk will come to the glass rod, and the negatives in the glass rod will go to the silk. And ultimately, silk will charge with negatives, and glass rod will charge with positives. Okay, so then, so here this experiment, the second experiment. Okay, this is to check whether So after charging, so just to check whether it is whether there's a repulsion or attraction. So what is repulsion? Repulsion කියන මොකක්ද? Repulsion. Sanoli, Saif. Yes, what is repulsion? Yes, Putih. Repulsion කියන මොකක්ද? Huh? Repulsion කියන්නේ attraction එකේ අනිත් පැත්ත. හරිද? object එකක් attract වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නේ. attract වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ ආකර්ෂණය විකර්ෂණය කියලා කියන්නේ. අහලා තියෙනවද? Have you heard about that words? Attracting and repulsion. Attracting is basically in single we call ආකර්ෂණය. ඇදලා ගන්නවා. Repulsion is rejection like thing. It's pulling away. Right? Okay, this experiment will help you understand whether there's a repulsion or attraction. If there's a repulsion, so normally the same kind of charges will create repulsion in one. The same kind of charge. Positive to positive, repulsion. Negative to negative, repulsion. But positive to negative, attraction. So that is the nature, right? That is how nature decides. Positive wave, negative wave, negative wave, positive wave. Negative, repulsion. Positive, repulsion. Okay, here that is why you are asked to get 2 glass rods and 2 ebonite. Ebonite are hard rubber. Hard rubber or plastic PVC butter. You can say PVC pipes instead of ebonite, right? So then you can do the experiment. Okay, how this make a okay, so I will give you a note, right? I will give you a small note now. So but before that, so please focus on this, right? Okay, the first thing is, so you have to rub the glass rod with the silk cloth and the other one, the ebonite one. So you have to rub that with a woolen cloth. So that is what the proven results. Then the proven result, you can rub this in woolen silk cloth also, but the result is not as expected. That is why you have to use the woolen cloth. Okay, then other glass rod also you need to rub with the silk and the other ebonite rod with the woolen one. Okay, then one ebonite rod you have to have. One glass rod also you have to have. Then you have to try. So hanging rod is glass. So when the other glass rod, so there are 2 no. The other glass rod you have to keep it closer to this. Brought it towards. Then you can see it's repelled. Repelled means විකර්ෂණය වෙනවා. Right? ඒක ඈතට තල්ලු වෙලා යනවා. Repel or repulsion. You can see the repel. And the ebonite and glass, you can see it will attract. කරලා බලන්න. Ebonite වෙනුවට plastic එක ගත්තත් කමන්නේ. Right? Ebonite and glass. But so plastic sometimes it will not give the same result. So you have to write your observations. Then glass and ebonite, again it will attract. But ebonite and ebonite, it will repel. Right? එක જાති ඒවා විකර්ෂණය වෙනවා. වර්ග දෙකම attract වෙනවා. Okay. Why this is happening? The answer is here. Right, answer is here. What is the reason? Because the glass rod is with positives. The other glass rod is also with the positives. The positive will repel. The repulsion will happen. And the ebonite, you can see it minus negatives, and the glass it is positive, therefore it will attract. So you can identify there are 2 kinds of charges in static electricity. Some are negatively charged and some are positively charged. So repulsion happens when negative or positive are closer. But attraction happens when 2 kinds of rods are closer. Right? You saw that in the paper example also. Okay, let's write down the heading. Static electricity. Static electricity. The important points only, right? No need to write down everything. Just write down the important points. Topic is static electricity. Static electricity. So, who has discovered this? The point number one. Right? Who said that? Can you remember the name? Yes?
William Gilbert.
Yes, William Gilbert. It is in 1900 AD, right? So William Gilbert. So please write down William Gilbert, the spellings. So let me give. Excuse. William Gilbert has first discovered this. William Gilbert has first discovered this. When some objects are rubbed, an electric charges are generated in the surface of both. There are an electric charges, right? It's not it's plural, no? There are positive and negative charges. Repulsion. The better word is basically here, rather than saying dislike, what you can say, pulling away. Then what is the opposite word? Yes, attraction. You can say dislike. Attraction. Moving towards each other, which likes. Positive. So the point is positive to positive, and positive to positive, and negative to negative shows repulsion. Opposite charges shows attraction. Okay, opposite charges show attraction. These are the points that you need to learn. But the experimental results You need to do the activity and complete it. Okay, please write down this and let me know once you are done. Okay, then, so objects with the like electric charges, like means this one, right? Like electric charges mean the same. Object with the like electric charges will repel, but object with the unlike means different. Like means positive or positive, unlike means positive, negative, right? That will attract, but the like electric charges, basically positive, positive or negative, positive, sorry, positive, positive or negative, negative will repel. Okay, to measure this electricity, there is a device, but this is there in your school science lab, right? So this is called right here electroscope, right? The gold leaf electroscope. So that can be used to measure the static electric charge, because it is very small amount. No, you cannot use a voltmeter, or you cannot use ammeter or something, or galvanometer. No, because this is very small one, and you will not be able to see a bulb or something which can be lightened up using this, right? Because then like if there is such thing. Side. You have to silence, mute yourself once you join. Good evening, but you are late. Maybe due to power cut. Anyway, you have to watch the recording, right? Because we are in a new lesson side. Okay. Right. Then, so I couldn't tell this. So other than the plastic PVC and other than this PVC and other than this glass, or other than the hard rubber one, you can use drinking straws and also drawing pins. And so drawing pins are basically to like hold that, right? So this experiment is with the drinking straws and also a glass and also sheet of film. So what you have to do, so you have to rub this drinking straw by the sheet of polythene, so that will charge the straw, and then you can just keep it using this drawing pin, right, on top of the glass like this. Then you have to do this small experiment. First, you have to move your finger towards it and see whether it's repel or attract. Next, just use another straw which is charged, another straw which is uncharged. A charged, so you know how to charge this, right? How to charge? You have to rub again, right? Rub against this thing. By rubbing, you can charge. Then you have to move towards and just observe the behaviors, right? Whether it's repel or whether it attract, when you move your hand, when you move the polythene, right? Polythene එක move කරලා බලන්න, අත move කරලා බලන්න, charge කරපු straw එකක් move කරලා බලන්න. Likewise, you can try, right? Try these different things. Okay. Then okay, then another thing is basically, so this static electricity. So since some were not there in the initial stage, I have another video to show you. So let me show that also, that these are also experiments that you can do using this static electricity. So these are similar to some last, the last one also we saw some of these, but this has some new ones also. It's okay. So you will not experience the same. This is actually styrofoam plates. Styrofoam plates කියලා කියන්නේ මේ reuse කරන්න පුළුවන් plates තියෙන පුතේ මේක මේ cardboard එක නෙවෙයි not the cardboard one. Styrofoam is not the cardboard one. There is a separate one, right? Styrofoam is a separate one. It's not the cardboard, right? Okay. Then let's see that. So this is the woolen cloth. I said wool තියෙන cloth එක. ඒකෙන් තමයි rub කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකෙන් තමයි අතුල් ගන්න ඕනේ. See here. They are doing that. Huh? Repel. එක වර්ගයවනේ. It will repel. But styrofoam and the hand will attract. And this is using a this Coca-Cola can or something you can use. Okay. Now I think you have interest into things to do, Ned. In this week, using static electricity, you have interest in things to do. I will send you the link of this as well, right? I will send the link of this as well. You can just go and see them and do these experiments. This is about the static electricity. And you can try. You can just give a try whether you can light up a bulb using static electricity. Just give a try, right? Because you should experiment on this, on all these things. This is very small charge, but static electricity is sometimes it can be a heavy charge, but so normally whatever we saw in these experiments, it will generate very small charge only. Podi charge එකක් තමයි මේක generate කරන්නේ. මේ තියෙන මං කිය cloth එකෙන් rub කරද්දී when you're rubbing using the cloth, the pluses will come to the glass, the negatives will be there in the cloth. That is how this charge. Okay, the positive charge, negative charge happens in this way. This basically exchange. These positives will jump from cloth to here and negatives will jump from here to cloth. That is what happens when you are rubbing against. Okay, I think there are a lot of experiments. On this experiment we saw, right? So you have to basically hang them and you have to check whether they are attracting or repelling. We saw that on also, we discussed that also. And so then, so day-to-day life, the phenomena, right? This part we can discuss later, I guess, right? We can discuss later because you have a lot of experiment to do and come, and you have to understand this very well now before doing these experiments. Then I will be moving to the natural phenomena which happens due to static electricity. I'll be moving because this static electricity can sometimes it can even be dangerous. So let's see how it happens with some more practical phenomena and examples next day. Then I'll stop from today. From here I'll wind up. Next day, after these experiments, please come up with the results and also try to rub different things other than what we saw now. You can use the phone cover and you can try with plastic bottles, right? Different plastic equipments in your home and rubber equipments, rubber, plastic, and different other equipment, glass equipments. Just try it, right? Okay. Then today aside we have started by 8 today. I think you saw the previous time because I'm today actually I'm in Singapore, right? The reason is now can you see the time? The Colombo time is I think 8 somewhat like 8 or 9 වගේ ඇති නේද 9:20 වගේද කොහොමද ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ වෙලාව
8:49 sir.
8:49, right? මගේ වෙලාව 11:20. 11:20. It's like it's almost midnight, right? That is why I am stopping earlier ඒකයි මම චුට්ටක් කලින් පටන් ගත්තේ තව පහු වුණා නම් රෑ 12ම වෙනවා. Right, ඒකයි. Next week I'm back to Sri Lanka, right? No, don't worry, I'll back to Sri Lanka and we'll start in the usual time, okay? Right, okay, good night. Bye.
Good night, sir. Sweet dreams.
Thank you, sir. Good.